While there's a lull in major tournament coverage, let's go back to Mission Hills for an event that took place in April of 2022. The MAcRob team, which is well known to everybody and is listed here, needed a warm-up. So some cannon fodder was recruited, and they took the opportunity to get some up-and-coming players some experience. The veterans were Paul Bennett, Stuart Lawrence, and Mike Albert, and the new guys were Kyle Maloof, Paul Newbecker, and Blake Fields, all of whom will be on one of these teams sooner or later. You'll be happy to know that the MAcRob team won the test 18-1. The games I'm going to show are textbook examples of how triple peeling works. We joined Kyle Maloof, one of the up-and-comers, against Ben Rothman, our perpetual AC champion, who's only recently been bumped into second place by Matthew Essex's success. Ben's blue clip is on 4 back. Kyle must have hit whatever the leave was, and now he's for hoop 6 with yellow. This is the situation where a New Zealand TPO would have been interesting to see. I'm afraid nobody's ever going to do one for me as much as I love to practice that maneuver. Basically, in this situation, Kyle would have done a back peel on blue through 4 back and then set a 1 back leave, wiring Ben's balls at hoop 1. Ben misses the T-lady, probably with black, and then red would make 12, peeling blue through penultimate rover and pegging out both red and blue at the end. And if he's lucky, he would have gotten 2 or 3 peels on yellow, so that Kyle would have had yellow for 3 back and Ben would have had black for 1, and most people could win that 1-ball game with that kind of lead. I've only seen it attempted once, and it was against Ben Rothman by Brian Cummings. But Ben hit the T-lady and messed it all up. So nobody's ever going to do one for me on video, I'm afraid. Another interesting option for Kyle here is to do a mom standard leave, leaving black, the ball that Ben wants to pick up, on hoop 2. That would leave blue on hoop 4 and enhance Kyle's chances of getting a triple if Ben missed the lift.
You're saying kind of
hitting all my roll shots.
Yeah.
I didn't want
Can I use
black
bathroom?
on the boundary.
Yep.
But
Which one?
5 yards on long is a little.
Slide right in there.
So you loaded it from way down
Yeah,
there.
and then you go
Yeah,
straight back in
I
my
was able
bedroom.
to get a forward rush. So I
bathrooms in
kind of
there.
rushed it up peg high, but it wasn't west at all.
Yeah.
I was approaching from. I had to cut to 3 back, so I was approaching from pretty far west. So I didn't want to do a very wide approach to get a western rush. So I came through and had kind of a north rush. I couldn't really cut it much west. So I just put it peg high and rolled it over.
Mm-hmm.
Got a decent rush on red to the boundary, but the damage had been done with black hanging out there. As it
That's what
was,
Zach
if he
left
missed,
just
I was going to have to
short
hit about a 5-yarder.
Ben and the other master tacticians on site this week may have different opinions about this depending on who they're playing, but the diagonal spread, which is the leave he's getting ready to do, is not known as a forcing leave. So it probably doesn't matter whether he puts the 4 back ball next to the peg or over by the west boundary.
So are Jeff and Brian not starting game 2? Unless, like, waiting to see if this finishes quick? Or Brian
We
is
want to
taking a
start
long
the
one?
doubles, but Stuart's not back from the airport yet.
Well, the big doubles is me and Steven versus Paul
Yeah.
and Brian.
Get that one done and then
So
they
like
can
the
finish up.
other doubles would be nice to start, but everybody's here tomorrow anyway, even if you only get like a game done. But Paul is limited tomorrow, so that's why we gotta kind of make sure to get that one on. But I would
So what do you do for
playing already
work?
and they figure it out. Croquet
They won't
videographer,
give you a
obviously.
vacation, right?
I'm a recovering accountant,
Ah.
CPA, but I don't really practice anymore. Mostly
More like Jacques.
Mostly changing diapers these days. Chasing around my 18-month-old kid. And while I'm doing that, I consult and advise with some early stage tech startups in
Oh, okay.
blockchain
That's pretty cool.
area. That I had a real estate business, but I'm liquidating that this summer and shutting it down. So I was up in Buffalo. Now that I can't just go back up there on the drop of a hat, it's getting a little untenable.
You don't have anybody working for you?
Tried a couple
Yeah.
people, it didn't really take. It's all right.
Yeah.
We'll wind it down, and it's a great time to be selling.
Come to Phoenix. The market's hot. It's crazy hot.
Market's
there.
hot in Buffalo.
Everything's hot. The ice is hot.
Like I started buying these rentals in 2013. I'd say like the Buffalo market had probably had about a 0% appreciation rate over like the previous 50 years. And
Yeah.
now I'm probably going to be able to sell everything for, I don't know, almost double what I got it for. Like Buffalo's been on fire for the last 4 or 5 years.
Like everybody, because the investments. That's what's driving it up.
There you go. Get all the New York City Buffalo Bills fans. Say like, wouldn't you like a place in Buffalo for during the season?
I did. Well, I used to run some of them as Airbnbs, so you get a lot of people for the football games.
Wow.
That was pretty
And the
lucrative.
hockey.
Yeah.
Your hat is not regulation colors. We're gonna need all whites.
Can we get a navy blue? This is close, but this is not navy.
No, there's white on this hat, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. So it
But
needs
your
to be-
hat does not have enough white.
Oh,
No,
so it's
it has
quality,
to
yeah.
be
What percent?
14.7%.
14, gotcha. So I
14.
think mine's right at 12.7.
I know. That's why I'm talking.
So I got a white
That's
out
why it was
marker.
brought to my attention.
Yeah, gotcha.
Get a bleach pen.
Yeah.
Write your name in big letters or something.
That's the plan.
Matt.
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 Just
All over the
not even two
back there.
T's, just one. Matt. Wow, feels a lot different right here than it did when I was walking over there in the sun.
Wasn't it amazing?
Golly.
I wasn't
Got a little
joking when I
breeze.
said this side.
Yeah, this is the little breeze.
None of that shade is like viable. You gotta hide behind those palm trees. But all that shade is hot.
Do you edit these yourself now, or do you send them to Russ?
They all go to Russ.
So is the audio on or is it off?
Audio's on.
Oh my gosh. So the Russians are listening.
Yep.
They know all about your pottery now, Paul.
They do.
Not only the Russians, but the Chinese and the U.S. government.
I mean, the Israelis, they got their finger on it all. That's fine. Yeah, the Chinese pottery barons are gonna come for your shop.
Pakistan's who I worry about. It was Pakistan and China, I think, is one that my instructor was.
The way he's setting up this croquet shot, it looks like he's worried about not being able to hit red after he places black.
Don't pay your work for it. Oh, there's Stewart and Dan.
And because of that,
Oh, Kyle.
he left black an open shot on blue.
Black is that place.
He's in trouble and he knows it, which is why he's going to scatter red and yellow on the east boundary.
Your singles is all done, right? You and Matt are done.
So you were still high on the canes last
Yeah.
night?
Oh, yeah.
Zach and Stewart are done.
I was like, I mean, it was cold by the time I ate it, and I was like, I don't see what the big deal is, but it feels wrong making that judgment.
Yeah,
eating it
this
cold.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of not what I was like the hype of it. You know, I didn't live up to the hype, but as far as taste, it's solid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like,
Bread was better than I expected. Chicken was solid. Sauce was really good. Fries were cold.
Ben's over to check out the position of red and yellow, and he's going over there to stock black shot on
What
blue.
made you not set the next seven?
A lot of top players don't stalk as much as you'd expect, but Ben does it pretty consistently.
I didn't want to rush it to the boundary.
Kyle had a nice
I
break.
wanted to sneak it.
Unfortunately, ended in what's called derisively a B spread.
Now you mean
And Ben's going to show you how to take advantage. There is some conversation now about the leaves and tactics in general. We'll leave it in and let you decide whether they know what they're talking about or not.
Did you snag any free rolls last night? Did you get any free rolls last night?
Yeah, I did. 3. Got that package Steven got.
I didn't see what you got.
By the way, if you're trying to force him to play, I think the new standard does a better job of that.
Does it?
So, if somebody's wanting to give you a delay triple, which the way you currently are, they're going to try to do that every single time. They're going to try to pick up the ball that's at 3-back every time. They want to take the 3-back ball and shoot down B ball.
He picked up 2 back last time.
And
Last game he picked up
or the one at 1-back.
the one at 1 back. I mean, yeah.
Well, in that case, that's in your benefit if he misses. Wherever he
Right.
misses, you
If
can
he
get it on
misses,
top.
it's right.
But I would say that he's going to most of the time pick up the other ball. Now, if he is probably confident enough in the shooting that he's just like, all right, I'm going to pick up the ball and play regardless.
Yeah.
But you at least then get it on top
Yeah.
triple if he misses.
Well, and that's why I figured if I did that and he picked up blue, it's a really easy on-time triple.
Yep.
Because I've got partner at if I get the rush to 1, I've got partner at 1 and 3,
And then you're set.
and then I'm set. That's what he did to me last game. I picked up the other ball.
Yep.
And,
I just feel like with a diagonal, it doesn't guarantee anything. Either one you pick up, you're going to get a, delayed if they take the B-ball shot.
right. Unless you set the rush to 1.
Correct.
That's
And that
what he
changes.
did against me, right? I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Um,
You don't see that often.
yeah, so he set. It was blue was directly in between 1 and 2, about even with the peg,
Okay.
and his other ball was even with the peg on the other side,
Mhm.
and then he had the rush.
So it was a really tight diagonal then.
So it was
They
a
weren't
really
spread apart.
tight, and I tried the same thing to have the good pioneer
Yeah,
there,
you
and
did.
I got greedy,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't get the wire.
What we're doing after this.
Doubles.
Okay.
So Jeff, they're playing their doubles match now because Paul has to leave in the morning, and Paul's done with his singles.
Okay.
So we play you guys after.
You have
I
to leave
get
in the
done
morning,
here.
correct?
Yeah.
Paul Bennett does not have to leave.
Oh yeah, Paul. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Are you playing in this next round of doubles?
Yeah.
You're playing with Brian?
I assume.
Yeah. Probably playing against, who have you not played?
Ben
Steven
and
and Ben?
Steven.
Okay.
Oh
I'll
yeah, so
play
you have
against
to
you
win.
and Blake.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll probably just play against
Yeah.
you and Blake. Cool.
I don't know.
You can see the wheels turning from back here. Kyle would rather play red so we can get a triple going. So Ben has put yellow, the ball he doesn't want to play, at hoop 1, where he has to move it, either take a shot or corner.
It's hard to hype yourself up for one shot in golf, Croquet. Because even if you hit it, you're probably going to have to hit it in 4 more shots anyway.
And now he's trying to make sure he doesn't give him a double with either red or yellow.
Well, shortest shot gives me everything.
Mm-hmm.
I set up the polarity so that, you know, he kind of wants to play the ball at 2 because that's his back ball. But then with blue way out there, I made it so that if he shoots at blue and misses, it doesn't really help me. I can't turn around and hit red easily. But I made his longest shot the most attractive defensively and the shortest shot the least attractive offensively. So I'm okay with it. And if he misses this, I get everything. So
Yep.
I'm really okay
I think the
with
shot is red at blue.
between them, I'm guessing by that reaction.
And now, if you're learning how to put together a triple, stay till the end.
Quarter inch.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what Matthew would do.
You're right, half inch. Being I both like red at blue as an option
Yeah.
as well.
I thought about it. I just thought with him, I thought if I miss, there's a really good chance he's going to triple. He's got his breaks in order right
Mhm.
now. He's playing well.
Yeah.
And I just wanted shorter shot.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
No. They're not
Yeah,
saying the choice
right.
is wrong by any means.
Yeah.
That was just your
That was my
one
winning
ball.
play.
Yep.
Yep.
And it actually, if you miss blue, it makes it really where he can't pick it up immediately. It's in the corner. He's not able to hit it immediately.
He could have. He would have had the Pioneer at 2, so he could have hit partner, left it on the court, and taken off, and just done a split from there.
Yeah,
Setting.
true.
I thought that was a pretty easy.
Well, he'd have had. I guess you're right. No, there wasn't. There was
Yeah,
ball
he
in
had a
one.
perfect Pioneer at 1.
You're right. That's true. I like shortest shot as well.
I mean, in that situation, I was
when you're
planning
playing-
if I, against him, I was just gonna run my last 3 and set the lead, and
I mean, against a guy you
put
think
some
is just
pressure.
going to finish no matter what you do.
Right.
You take the short shot.
exactly.
Making hoop one off partner is safer than making it off an opponent ball, and it also lets you put the peely at 4 back after hoop one. And these conversations you're hearing in the background would be against the rules in an ordinary tournament, but this is a training exercise, so they're exchanging a lot of ideas. It happens to him once or twice a year.
Let's see it.
Reds for hoop one, yellows for 4 back.
I'm a little surprised at the format of the Mac. That you play 3 doubles and 2 singles. I know. It's kind of like,
I use doubles more than it does singles.
yeah.
I mean, I get it.
I guess if it's a team competition, that makes sense. But
I still I think singles is all, especially during the MAC, you got so much more going on that it actually makes it more enjoyable to watch, especially since it's AC. It's already a drag to watch one game. If there's 6 games going on at once, you'd think that you want more of that. Whereas the doubles is only 3 at one time. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's already a bear for some people to watch because it's so long. If you have multiple things going on at one time, it's easier to deflect your attention.
yeah, that footage from Canley or whatever
Yeah.
for the Worlds, that was great.
Yeah, they did a really good job. And hopefully, if this does happen, it's gonna be at the same place. As far as I understand it, they have somebody there for all that stuff.
Yep.
Commentary is great. I was listening to your commentary last week in preparation for this. I was just watching AC. And
Yeah.
it's funny to hear you touting.
You might expect him to send Blue to 4-back now to get the triple started. But that big wide split shot that sends Blue to 4-back and Black to red on the south boundary is way harder to control than the narrower angle he's going to use that puts Black at red and Blue at hoop 4. And if he comes back to hoop 4 after he makes 2, he could still get an on-time triple out of it.
And of course, Simon goes into the booth and says that.
And he probably had 2 or 3 more reasons for doing that.
I was waiting for that tactic. Matthew's going to bring out that Reg is. It's like this secret weapon that Simon basically made up. Yeah, Ben did a good job too. He was in the commentary booth for a while. Chris Clark as well.
Yeah, I remember watching that back when it happened. I went back and watched like the quarters and semis because I don't think I watched that the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
Dude, I had. They're not on. They didn't video these, but I was on court 8 for the round of 32, and then the round of 16. And in the round of 16, I played Patty Chapman, and we played on this court, Paul, that had like a 2-foot break down B-balk. And it was one of those things where both of us, when we set our leaves, we would literally set it like north of the peg for your like NSL or diagonal, because you knew if someone took a shot down B-balk that you just had 0 chance to hit it because it broke so much. And that's one of the ones I wish was on tape, because that was one of the crazier games. Just a bunch of missed shots, a bunch of because the court was so tough. And I think those games are more fun to watch because you get to see a whole different, exchange back and forth.
Yeah, it's not as robotic.
Exactly.
Conversation in the background is Matthew Essick, who's obviously on the MAcRob team, and then Kyle Maloof and your videographer Paul Newbecker, who are both on the development squad.
Reg,
Wilson
game. Who would you have rather played?
Oh, Wilson. I mean, for sure.
Really?
Just because of, you think about it. Wilson, I feel like I'm on the same, like, we're both young, both never been there before. And I feel like Red's just had I didn't feel this way when I went into the game, but I just, looking back on it, I feel like he just had an edge going in because he's been there before. He understands, like, what to be thinking the night before. Like, I didn't sleep very well,
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Ed Wilson's games, but it just, the little I have seen, it seems like he could be on and off, and holy fuck, you don't want to be there when he's on.
Oh, gosh, when he's on, it's scary. I mean, maybe not on the same level, but Sharif kind of reminds me of that. When Sharif's on, it's when the ball hits, it just has just a spark to it, you know? And that's kind of how Ed was.
So much for the better control I was talking about.
Yep.
He could just tap Blue and
Like Reg is
roll them both to 4-back and 3 because he has a Pioneer down there. But he was aiming at hoop 6, so he's going to try to cut it over there, it looks like.
Yeah.
Whoops, didn't get the cut he wanted.
It takes the most skill to get the shots.
But even though he's a long way away, this still lets him attempt to place the P-Lee at 4 back from what Wylie would call the right direction.
Every time. And I think, honestly, I'm not saying this had any effect on me missing or hitting, but I feel like that's a mind game, right? You know your opponent's about to get ready to hit, so you're just taking that extra bit of time just to, delay it a little bit.
Yeah. At the same time, you can also ice yourself.
Exactly. You can. But for him, it's those last 2 or 3 shots
if
that
you're used to not being in the rib.
correct. And so, like, especially, 2 shots that every single lead he said he took a good while on was he set the ball for the diagonal and he's rushed to the out of bounds. He would spend an extra 5 minutes on the last roll shot and then set up shot for the ball.
Yeah,
and, there's no pressure on that shot really.
No,
As long as you set it well.
That's gamesmanship.
Exactly. And I think it's an allowed version, obviously.
Yeah, but I don't like things like that.
And
every sport you get in, but
you're always going to.
That was my thought watching him play was I wonder how he would do in an American rules format where like someone could put a shot clock on him.
He'd be the best in the world.
Yeah.
So you think even if he didn't have the time to go through his whole routine, that wouldn't affect his game at all?
I mean, I take that, it's different, trust me, but I take that as, you go look at chess, and you look at the guys that play classical, that have hours to make decisions, they're the best in the world, and then you go look at blitz, they're still in the top 5 in the world in blitz as well, which is much, much, much faster paced. And like I said, I know it's different, but I think he has the skills to play fast. I think there's
So as far afield as everything was when he started, he's attempting a back peel at 4 back, which is an on-time triple.
But
I mean, the
at
crazy
this point,
part,
you
Kyle,
just feel it.
exactly, and I've slowed down a lot. A year or 2 ago, I was playing lightning fast, and I think one thing I've noticed is I do slow down on shots that I feel like are more critical, which is something I used to not do. Is treat every shot the same.
At some point, when you've done something so many times and you allow yourself to be an athlete, that's when people perform their best typically.
Agreed.
And coming from tennis, and I haven't had the reps in this enough yet to just allow my body to do it. So I have to think a little more right now. But my hope is that I'll speed up more and more because the games are more fun when they're half an hour versus.
They are. Agreed.
The other thing that occurred to me when I was watching the game is I was curious how your shot developed, where you seem to cast when you do Irish grip, but when you do Solomon, there's zero casting. You just
no casting whatsoever.
How do you think that that came to be, or what's?
So Irish, I have to. I wouldn't cast an Irish if I didn't have to. There's no way to get enough power without the cast.
Oh, to wind up.
Yeah.
So he's back to delayed triple again. Will he try to get it back on time by peeling penult before 1 back, or just wait and do it either before or after 2 back or 3 back? Opportunities abound.
It's silly, but my casts fool my eyes. When I cast, I stand staggered. So since I stand staggered when I cast, I'm straight. It's the weirdest thing. But
You don't go staggered with Solomon.
yeah, as far as staggered like this, I'm not even.
When you shoot your hard shots, you're even.
When I shoot.
Yeah, I think you're more
When
even.
I shoot really hard, maybe.
That's the only time you use Solomon now.
Yeah,
it seems
yeah.
like.
And
So
like,
everything
but
else you
this
use.
shot, I'm even. I don't have any stagger with Irish.
What's
Maybe
the benefit of staggered? I've never.
I just get more a backswing before my mallet hits my body.
Okay.
Just brings
Yeah.
you back a little bit. And I play so much basketball, and every time you catch me shoot basketball, you're staggered.
Okay.
And so that's kind of like where it originated from.
So you feel casting messes you up, huh?
No, I think it just messes with my alignment that I've been doing for so long. I mean, I line up exactly how I tell everybody not to line up, which is just leave them out there and flicker my eyes back and forth.
Yeah.
I see that it looks.
But so that is the toughest way to learn to line up. But what I tell everyone is, it's like if you were to point at a tree, you're not looking where your finger's pointed. You're
Correct.
feeling where it's pointed.
Yes.
And for you, you can feel where that mallet's pointed from
It's
all the years of practice.
correct.
You know,
Correct.
and in the
Just-
beginning, people have to look where it's pointed.
Yep.
But once you get to that, I mean, that makes a big difference. And then,
Agreed.
you know, I think almost coming up from behind it can lengthen the process that you learn how to just point the mallet.
Yep.
So he's
That's
planning
what-
to
one of the biggest things about
get the four-back peel after 5 because he put
stalking. Whereas
yellow
when
in
I
a
do
skate
Irish, because I
ball
cast,
position
Yeah.
so
I
he
can
can
just
make
literally walk
6
up and
off
stop
that
the
after he
ball and
does the peel.
Eventually, that's how I took half.
In figure 1.16 in Expert Croquet, Keith Wylie diagrams exactly what Ben just set up. In that case, it was to make the four-back peel after hoop 4. But he describes it as a fairly esoteric thing to do, saying, for a few players, this does not jeopardize the break. Do not attempt this peel if you are not one of those players. In the interim, this use of
Just because
an escape ball as a remote pioneer has become the cornerstone of the modern sextuple and of rescue operations in triple peeling, as Patty Chapman outlined so nicely in his chapter on triple peeling and beyond expert croquet.
Yeah, 'cause to me, it's like the follow through is really the line that your shot's going to go on.
Here, the rush back to 4 back out of 5 is critical, so he's very carefully rushing red deep enough that he'll be able to set up that rush to 4 back on his approach shot to 5.
I videoed my swing about 2.5 weeks ago, and I took a lot. I mean, that's probably took 30, 40 videos from different angles just to see what my swing looked like. And there's a huge bend to the left on my backswing.
Yeah.
And I did not know. I mean, I knew it bent a little, but not as bad, as severe as it was. And I was just telling you about this, Kyle, over there. And I spent days just looking at it like, I'm able to hit the ball straight, and my swing is nowhere near my target. That makes no sense. I can't wrap my head around that. And trying to I know.
You know.
I mean,
And that's on Solomon, that's on an Irish. Right?
no, Irish is pretty almost
Yeah.
dead straight, but Solomon is just
So-
yes, I know because the casting. I know, trust me, the casting shows me a line that is straight, but
Yeah.
I don't swing straight.
Yeah.
So I have to go off of what looks straight because I've been whatever it is. Maybe it's 2 inches left.
Yeah. Well,
It
you can bring it back for it as long as at when it's coming back forward, you hit a
I have to
momentary
hit
amount
square,
of straight.
yes,
and
and even if I follow through to the right, it has to be square. And I guess it's aim maybe a half ball left. I don't know, but it's from my eyes. That's why I don't cast. It's the craziest thing. But
Yeah, because I think if I didn't cast, I would get a crooked swing, but it wouldn't straighten out for me.
yeah,
So-
it should just go exactly where it's going. Well, trust me. I mean, like today, I had 2 or 3 swings that I missed by a foot and a half, 2 feet, and I know immediately. when I
He's
cast,
putting the node area on the striker ball instead of the grooves
so, yeah, so
in
even if I
contact
go
with
back,
the
it's 2 feet left.
peelee in order to lessen the amount of pull on the peel stroke.
Say so.
Just swing it. It's crazy.
My biggest issue, I think, is contact point on the face. I
Yeah.
tend to
Be a little bit on the.
be a little bit on the right side a lot. This week I've been working on that, and I'm a little bit left now.
Okay.
So I think I'm getting another face plate, and I'm gonna cut it and have a little strip down the middle to try to
Cool. Yeah.
practice with the
I think it's a good idea.
because I mean that's a nice thing about the wide mallet is it is a bigger sweet spot, but
Mhm.
it lets you be less precise
Correct. And still able to
and still able to
get away
be
with it.
right, be
Mhm.
semi-accurate. I remember the first tournament I played, and you told me I was hitting it off center when I was missing down
Yep.
at the Nationals. And I filmed myself, and sure enough,
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how many, miss that you have in a game are just a slight miss hit of off center. It's amazing. Even on the little, smallest margin, sometimes you have no idea. You can't feel it. You just have to work.
So no attempt to get back on time before one back.
Yeah, let's get Blue's going to two
He
back.
could park the P-Lee at Penalt and leave himself an escape ball to make two back from. Or the more standard approach would be to peel Blue now, send it to two back, and be happy to wait till before or after three back to make the Penalt peel.
Could have rushed it
Like
back
here?
around here, and it would be a normal backward split from two to three and a three ball.
Yep. True. The only issue is that shot. I feel like
You have
you're
to make sure
you gotta make sure you get over there, and I feel like that's rushing it a little bit and having harder shots than you need. Because at this point,
but then getting to red off of this shot in perfect position, because red's not a good pioneer.
No,
is
it's not easy either.
It would have been a lot easier the other way, getting this wicket right here if you get that one shot.
Yep, it's true. I also think that
He's got that shot.
AC players, especially people that have played a lot, especially like Ben has played a ton of AC, fall into a pattern that they're used to.
Yeah.
And so this pattern, even if the shot's going to be easier, it's the pattern that normally plays.
And I mean, he knows that split shot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm.
I haven't practiced any three ball breaks. I've only practiced triple peels and four balls, so
Mhm.
I don't have that one.
Have you done any straight doubles? Done many of those? I think that's the best practice.
Once I've done a couple, maybe either one or two where just practicing a triple it ended up happening, but I'm
I
not
would
great at that.
seriously suggest, I'm serious,
Yeah.
going and spending, that's the thing about straight doubles, is you can do it with 3 hoops left.
Yeah.
So you're scoring 4 back, you already have partner at, and trying a straight double. As soon as I was able to even do straight doubles here,
That makes everything. You don't have to
you
rush
feel
anything.
like you're not rushed. You feel like you have so much more time than you do. And I feel like makes you realize, okay, I can be patient with this and keep things easy. And I know that worst case scenario, I have a straight double at the end, and I know that I can do it.
Yeah, that. I haven't completed one yet, but I've practiced a number of sextuplets.
This is the rush I was talking about in the previous game, where he's going to be very precise about giving himself room to send yellow to three back while he gets behind
One we do.
the two back pioneer with a simple drive shot.
It's just there's so many more shots.
Well, it's also one thing I've also realized, and this is it's very similar to you. I've completed very few, but a lot of them are the smallest thing. As let's say you peel 3 back and it only goes through 10 feet, whereas the next time you do it, it goes through all the way down to 4 back. There's a huge difference in that you don't realize until
it goes through and then you hit it and it rushes into a hoop. There's just a lot more opportunities for those bad luck plays to happen, and they come up a lot.
It's a good like thinking game basically, because just thinking about where the next escape ball is going to have to go is something else. Good shot.
So excited yesterday to try that quintuple with the perfect. I mean, you couldn't get a better setup.
Yeah, exactly what you're looking for.
The perfect break setup at one. Perfect. The ball you need a peel right there.
Yeah, so you can do it immediately after.
You get the peel immediately after one, and I made the bad rush down there, so I couldn't get the rush up to 2, and then thinking about that, and I missed another 6-foot Croquet.
It's definitely the easy stuff on those turns that gets you. I don't know if it's a lack of focus or just a blank moment. I don't know.
When there's so many shots that are tougher that you have to really concentrate, then it's easier to take shots for granted.
Yep.
It's the same in every sport.
Did you see any of Jeff and Brian's game? I didn't see if Jeff played well or if Brian just.
It was really ugly.
Really?
Well, Jeff hadn't taken Croquet 2 hours into the match. I think Brian's really acquitted himself pretty well for coming in off the bench.
Yeah, no kidding.
That and talking and walking around, just swinging. Combination probably got too. It was frustrating. And
Yeah.
just, Brian needs the coaching, but if it's changing the rhythm of the game.
Now he needs to rush red into position as the escape ball after the penult peel in the pioneer for 4 back, because he needs to take off from it to get to yellow at 3 back. With red there, he's planning on doing the peel with a little drive shot. He could just as easily have left red further north and done it with a stop shot, but he may feel that he'll get the peelee further toward the peg or rover with a drive shot in this situation.
Center ball. It's like, okay, he doesn't even think about it. Just see ball, hit ball.
It doesn't quite work out, but this is still a textbook example of how to approach 3 back and maximize your chances of getting a rush north.
Yeah. I mean, he's much, nothing against Tom, but he's much farther along strategically than Tom is. I think that just comes from playing your whole life against Robert Fletcher. But very similar in that aspect as far as the hit-ins and.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
think
when
that's
he's hot,
really
so.
what it gets down to at a certain point. It's just like, how good are they on hit-ins?
Yep. That's what it is at the top level. You're all going to finish breaks. And you can only make it so much harder for those guys.
Right.
What's going to make a difference?
Yeah, decent on my hit-ins. I just gotta
Dude, in our
do the
doubles
breaks.
match, you had 3 of them that were just, a piece of paper.
It was frustrating because the day before I hit
Everything you looked at.
like across the 3 games of Jeff.
He's planning on putting yellow where it will be of maximum utility no matter how the penult peel goes.
Broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
And I think it was because like that white electrical tape at the top started giving the day before, so there was like some black duct tape in there. I swapped it out.
Yeah.
But then like the top 2 inches were like this slick thing, so I was like holding my mallet a little bit lower than I normally would. And yeah, it was like just missing it. I don't know. You sit there all day and
It's irritating.
But anyways, the point is, I hit everything and still lost because I couldn't run the breaks.
Yeah.
So that is where. What's that?
The breaks are the name of the game.
Yeah. No, that's where I need a lot of work. Like a lot of work.
It's just learning how to make them easy.
Well, it's even that. I mean, this program is really the first kind of formal coaching I've been exposed to. Like everything else is kind of just self-taught. So there's a variety of croquet shots that just aren't in my bag.
Yep.
Like I cannot do a half roll.
Yeah.
it's embarrassing to say that, but it's like I can't.
That's the one that I struggle with the most too. Is it's like full roll, 3/4 roll are a lot easier than a half roll.
Like my makeshift half roll is to do a full roll stance and just hit it flat and not follow through. It's like the closest
A
I can.
shot. You can also do, you know, I do most of my half rolls standing up. Just stand there way over the ball and hit like a jump shot and get a half roll.
I've tried that, or I've tried choking down. I don't know. I just can't.
I just choke down one hand and I go staggered stance for the.
Yeah, I mean, I do a roll shot now.
Cannot do that.
No.
Like if I sat out here all day, maybe I could figure it out. But it's like
I promise you could, Paul.
in the 20-minute
If we
warm-up.
sat there for 5 minutes, you could figure out how to do a half roll. I promise.
Well,
Promise.
that's like
I've seen you hit roll shots. I know you can do that. Like I'm 100% sure.
or splits, like an equidistant split across the court. Can't do it. Like it's just.
I think a lot of that's feel.
No, it is. It's just I need practice.
The other thing about roll shots, it just for a while judging if it's a half roll or 3/4 roll. A lot of times it just you look at something and think it's a half roll when it's really a third, and then you feel like your half roll's off because it went too far.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually you were talking about being comfortable and getting used to it. I think being able to judge how much the split, how wide the split is going to affect what kind of shot you use, that is like one of the biggest things.
It is.
Because you can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times the distance is a 3/4 roll, but the split makes it, half roll, maybe even a little bit less than a half roll.
The other thing for me that took a while is learning to focus on the spot you want the ball to stop, not on the ball you're trying to rotate next.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the ball's halfway in between, but you've got to stop well short of it. Messes with your eye.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Yeah, that's where I don't know if I get frustrated or I feel guilty or whatever. We come out here and I think most of the coaching is centered around tightening up tactics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, I'm not ready for the tactics. Like, I just need to learn
Work
the
on the
croquet
shots. Yep.
and then the tactics will be useful.
Yep.
Like
Until I can do the shots, the tactics don't help.
Right.
Yeah.
Notice that red goes not to Rover as a pioneer, but to peg high. The Peely will serve as the Rover pioneer, and this way he can use red and yellow to set up the peel more effectively.
Yeah.
So it's just a straight draw. Yep. And give yourself a little bit more space.
Well, that's a bummer for him, but it gives us the chance to see a beautiful example of problem solving.
I play whatever I have the opportunity to play, but like yeah, I started playing Croquet 9 with like the mini balls and wide iron hoops. It's like this version that only exists in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But like on a croquet lawn, not like backyard, not like the wider hoops.
Okay.
But like
Traditional court.
Yeah.
Just a different style.
Traditional slower court with the smaller balls and like homemade iron hoops that are about 1.5 times as wide as 6 feet. And it was like it's a game. Honestly, it's probably closer to golf croquet than anything because it's like you don't get 2 shots.
Were he in complete control of the rover peel, he might not do this, but here he's using the standard tactic of placing a deep ball near the boundary so that if he has to do a jump shot over a stuck pea leaf, for instance, he'll be able to come back on that ball.
Because someone had joined from the New York club that was an American rules player, and then we started hosting an American rules tournament in Buffalo. It was just my foray into the game. I don't know. I don't mind the game as much as it seems like everyone here like really doesn't like it. So I guess I keep that to myself because
I enjoy the tactics of it, but it punishes any form of aggression whatsoever.
I think the biggest thing is
sort of.
at the top level, people have gotten too good for it.
Yeah,
It comes
exactly.
down to the coin flip.
Exactly. It comes down to who goes first, who makes the first successful attack,
Right,
and the game's over.
right. And at the top level, everyone
You know,
makes a successful attack.
Exactly. I talked to.
Yeah, assuming there's no mistakes. But until I started running in this crowd, that never really came. Like someone always makes a mistake,
Yeah.
so the game always gets interesting.
I just don't think at top level. I don't think the mistakes are made nearly as often.
Well,
There are mistakes made, but not
Not often.
No.
so I was talking. I don't know if this was Steven. I don't know if you were around, but what I was saying was, to me, American rules is not like I think there's the two things I think are interesting that I think deserve a place in some form of croquet is color order rotation and carryover deadness. But so to me, I don't think American rules is fucked. I think it just needs to be safe. Like it needs to be reworked. So like in association, if you did the
So the peel's not a long one, but it's slightly angled, and a lot of times the bugaboo is what happens to the striker ball, not the peelee so much. If he had an escape ball, he could do an Aspinall peel where black would follow blue to the hoop and knock it through and then be able to make the hoop off the escape ball. But he's used both yellow and red since he made Pinot.
Howard Sosa's got all kinds of crazy shit, but we played a lot of it's really fun, but a lot as crazy as can be. But we played Macy's thing in Chesapeake Bay. It was called Advanced American Rules, basically exactly what you're talking about. Anytime you score one back, they get a clear. If you score one back and four back in the same turn, they get contact. No, excuse me, they don't get contact. They can choose which ball to play, and the order and sequence follows that ball.
Okay.
So there's no contact. It's just if they make one back and four back in the same turn, you get to choose which ball to play. So you can set yourself a break, but
Ugh. Usually that's a huge problem. He may have meant for it to dribble through, but I wouldn't put it past him to have done it on purpose so that he could do what's coming in the next 7 minutes. This is what you came for.
so you prevent breaks in any way, or creating yourself a second break, let's say, without some exchange of play.
Yeah,
I
or
think
like fixing.
American is a better game for people learning.
Type in men's final part 4 and you'll see Reg Bamford doing what Ben's about to do in 2004 against Pete Trimmer in the World Championships at Hurlingham. He did it at the end of a sextuple, but his was actually easier than what Ben's about to show you.
I would start somewhere on GC and I would go AC next, and I would do American rules last
GC, no doubt.
But AC.
Because if you can't, like American rules is so punitive.
Oh,
that,
I play no carryover deadness American rules. So you have the color order, but there's no carryover deadness. I think that's the best way to teach it.
Yeah.
Because the carryover deadness just penalizes anybody from trying anything.
One thing I've wanted to experiment with is like flipping the.
Here he has to think about the leave in case this doesn't work. So he wants yellow fairly far afield.
You can just rush. You can hit that ball out of bounds and still take a turn, and then AC where you couldn't rush balls out of bounds. I feel like anytime I float that to an AC player, they're like, no. I'm like, it would make it a lot harder though.
Yes, agreed.
Like if you want to talk about like real skill, like having to keep everything
1 yard boundaries, but they're
yeah.
you
So
can't rush
so you
from.
can get behind them and get in, but you can't just like knock them out or like run a hoop real hard out of bounds or something like that.
That thing gives so much more advantage to the person in control of the game.
Yes.
The nice thing about AC is when someone gets in control.
And obviously, here, not only does he have to get blue through the hoop by a foot or two, he has to get black on the other side of blue so that he has a rush back to the peg.
Steven's, thought was the first turn after someone scores one back, you get a clearing, but you also can knock a ball out on the first shot of that turn.
Yeah.
That was his thought. Once you hit it, and you place back in, everything else is the same. Yeah, that was an interesting.
That's
Yeah,
very
that was interesting to me as well.
Yep.
There's a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's like I wonder, could you create an advanced rules that would not be
Absolutely.
But
like
then again, there's just so many big long roll shots to get breaks started with. It would definitely make it a lot tougher.
Yeah.
And the game's a lot longer.
Yeah. No kidding about that.
You not get 3 matches in if that was the case.
No. You guys have time limits at that point.
that was like another thing. I think that the clock in American rules really introduces a very unpleasant level of like.
Oh,
It's terrible.
And I was like, how do you fix this? But it's like obviously you need some time limit on these games because like
especially at certain levels.
with carryover deadness,
Oh, gosh.
it's like shit could really
Go forever.
So, and I had the idea. I haven't tried it out yet, but what if you introduced like a chess clock to the croquet court?
Stevens had talked to me about that as well.
So
That's been really cool
like,
to think about.
Like each side has 45 minutes to play. So that's when you're running a break, you're eating your own clock, and so it's like when you run out of time, it'll like automatically.
Shot.
Good shot.
That's an understatement. Personally, I think that shot rivals the Barnes Wallace double jumper he did over the peg to make Hoop 12 and win a golf croquet game that's on YouTube.
When you run out of time, you get to hit the ball. That's it. Like
A little lucky, sure, but mostly unparalleled control.
But the way blitz works is you get, let's say you get 5 seconds every time you change the clock.
Yeah.
So as long as you're using less than 5 seconds, then you're not losing time. Yeah. But once you run out of time, you're fucked. You lose.
Oh, so you literally can't let it hit zero.
No. So when you see it get to 45 seconds, 50 seconds a minute.
The standard triple PO may be the aspiration of every developing AC player, but the true pons asinorum, or what separates the men from the boys, is being able to rescue a triple PO that's gone south. There's no question which side of that bridge Ben Rothman is on. So that's all we have from the development squad event a year ago. Give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll find something to put up soon. Thanks again to the USCA and to Stuart Price for their sponsorship. And thank you for your close attention.
Nice turn.
That's in like 5 minutes. So dumb. So dumb, but at least exciting.